Welcome to Unit 6, Lesson 2, Quadrilaterals for Sides and Many Possibilities. The focus of this lesson is to explore the relationship among parallelograms, rectangles, squares, rhombuses, and trapezoids. We're going to look at the different kinds of quadrilaterals and determine the features that identify its classifications. So a quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides. And if you recall, when we discussed what polygons were in Lesson 1, it said a polygon is a closed plane figure with sides made up of line segments. So we're going to look at some different kinds of quadrilaterals and identify their attributes. So a parallelogram is a figure with both pairs on opposite sides parallel. So if you were to identify parallel lines, here's one and here's one, here's one and here's one, this is a parallelogram. The rectangle here has these 2 sides are parallel and these 2 sides. It also fits the category. This rhombus has 2 parallel lines here and 2 parallel lines there. It also fits. Here's a square. It has 2 parallel lines, 2 sets of parallel lines, and it fits the category of a parallelogram. These are trapezoids, and if you look carefully, there is 1 pair of parallel lines, but these are not parallel, so it does not fit the category. This trapezoid does not fit the category because its lines are not both parallel. A rectangle is a parallelogram that has 4 right angles. So parallelogram has 2 pairs of parallel lines. So here is our rectangle, 2 pairs of parallel lines, but it also has 4 right angles. If you recall, right angles are exactly perpendicular lines. So here's a right angle, here's a right angle, here is a right angle, and this corner also forms a right angle. So our rectangle, of course, fits the category. A square also fits the category. It is 2 pairs of parallel lines with 4 right angles. Now let's look at this rhombus. Does this rhombus fit the category? It is 2 pairs of parallel lines, but it does not have 4 right angles. So a rhombus does not fit the category of a rectangle. This is another rhombus that does not fit, no right angles. Here's a square, another square. This square, 2 pairs of parallel lines and 4 right angles. So a square also fits the attributes of a rectangle, but this trapezoid does not. Now let's look at a square. Now a square has the same attributes as a parallelogram and a rectangle with another exception. It has the attributes of a rectangle with 4 sides of the same length. Now here is the definition of this rectangle. Here is a rectangle, 2 parallel sides, 4 right angles, but are these of equal length, each of them the same length? No. The only 2 that fit in that category are the square. So each one definition that we've discussed, parallelogram, rectangle, and square, refine just a little bit more of the definition. So a square fits all the attributes, but does not have the same, but a parallelogram cannot fit all the attributes. Now let's look at a rhombus. So a rhombus, let's pull this down. A rhombus is a parallelogram with equal sides. Now, so a parallelogram again is both pairs on opposite sides parallel. So here's our rhombus. Is it required to have 4 right angles? No, it does not. But a rhombus, 4 sides of equal length. A square fits the attributes of a rhombus. Does a rectangle? No. Does a trapezoid? No. Does a regular polygon? No. Does this rhombus fit that category? No. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly 1 pair of parallel lines. It is important to identify this word, exactly. A trapezoid only has 1 pair of parallel lines. This is a trapezoid. This is a trapezoid. This is a trapezoid. This is a trapezoid. Exactly 1 pair of parallel lines. Now, quadrilaterals can fall under more than one classification. So let's try an activity on naming some shapes with different attributes. So we're going to use the words quadrilateral, parallelogram, rectangle, and square. Looking at this first shape, it's a rectangle. We can look at that and identify it as a rectangle. Is it a quadrilateral? 4 sides, closed figure, yes. Is it a parallelogram with 2 opposite sides that are opposite pairs that are parallel? Yes, it does. How about, is it a rectangle? It has 2 pairs of parallel lines and it has 4 right angles. Yes, it fits that category. Does it fit the categories of square, where each side is of equal length? No. So we would call this a quadrilateral, parallelogram, and a rectangle. Let's look at this next figure. This figure is a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4. But does it fit in the category of parallelogram with 2 pairs of parallel lines? No. Does it fit a rectangle with 4 right angles? No. Does it fit a square with 4 equal sides? No. So the only attribute that this polygon has, or this quadrilateral, is that it is a quadrilateral. This is a square. Does it fit the category of quadrilateral? Yes. Does it fit the category of a parallelogram? Yes. Does it fit the category of a rectangle? Yes. Does it fit the category of a square? Yes. This figure fits all 4 attributes: quadrilateral, parallelogram, rectangle, and square. Let's look at this last figure. Does it fit the category of quadrilateral? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Does it fit the category of a parallelogram? 2 pairs of opposite sides that are parallel? Yes. Does it fit a rectangle? No. There are no right angles identified there. Does it fit 4 equal sides? No. The 2 areas that this figure has attributes of are quadrilateral and parallelogram. Now this particular tool we can look at and count and identify the sides, attributes of figures, and we will be playing a little bit with this. We'll be looking at some parallelograms, some rhombuses, and rectangles and squares. I want you to look at this, and we're going to apply what we've already talked about. This is the same figure that we looked at earlier. Same process. Take a minute, and I want you to think about this. We talked about it being fitting the category of a quadrilateral. It does not fit the category of a parallelogram, and it doesn't fit the category attributes of a rectangle or the attributes of a square. So we've identified this as simply as quadrilateral, and we are correct. Now let's look at these four quadrilaterals, and we are supposed to identify which ones are trapezoids. Now if you recall, a trapezoid has exactly one pair of parallel lines. Let's look at this. This first figure does not have any parallel lines, so we're not going to identify that. This second figure X, this polygon, it has four sides. It has one pair of parallel lines, so this one fits the category of a trapezoid. Let's look at this Y. Y has a pair of parallel lines. It has two. Can it be a trapezoid? Remember the terminology. A trapezoid has exactly one pair, so it does not fit. Let's look at Z. Z has one pair here. Are these parallel? Not at all. So this one fits the attributes of a trapezoid. Let's see if we are correct. We are. Now, to prepare for this week's lessons in geometry in lesson 2, I'd like you to practice drawing some quadrilaterals. Draw the trapezoids and the squares and the rectangles and the parallelograms and the rhombus, and identify its attributes. See if you can understand why a square would fit more attributes than its own design itself. Good luck, and we will be discussing these items in geometry this week. Good luck, and see you soon.